Hey, what's up, everybody? Apparently not Bitcoin, as it's starting to drop a little bit. Uh, One thing I was looking at, and I don't know if this will come to fruition or not, but it's something to kind of look at and kind of get some kicks and giggles in there. Um, the one thing I was looking at was on the daily chart here is just kind of taking a look at the lows up to the highs, and then when it kind of broke a trend line to the downside on each of these moves. So go from the low here, breakout, low here, breakdown, uh, low here, breakdown, low here, breakdown. You get the picture. Um, Interesting thing. One of the little techniques that I use, just as kind of a minimum target sometimes, is taking the furthest distance above the trend line, and you take that same rate of change on the break, and look at that as a possible target to look for. But the interesting thing is when you look at all these breakdowns during this area of consolidation that we've seen, it's kind of interesting. If you take this first distance here, and what I'll do is I'll clone this just so you can get the same distance on the arrow. If you take the same distance and you move it down right to the break point, as you can see right here, the arrow matches up pretty well to where it wicked down to a low off of that break. If you clone the next one right here, and just kind of move it down to the break point, as you can see right here, the market worked its way down to that low right there. You go over to the next one, and you kind of clone this one, and you move it to the break point right there. As you can see, it wicked down pretty close to the distance of that trend line break. You can go into these smaller ones, clone this one, move it over to the breakout point, and you got it right there on the low on the wick there. Another little teeny one in here. Um, Clone this one, so you get the same distance again, and work it to the breakout point, and it worked down to the low right there. So every time this thing's worked up and broke down, it had a nice little distance off of each one. Now here's the kicker: if this works for the same way this is done, it off of these lows here, off this, off this, off this, and then it broke right here tonight. If you clone this one the same distance and you move it over to the breakout point, which is right there, you're looking at an 8,800 move to the downside, which is kind of interesting. Not to say that it will happen. It's just a pattern that I was kind of looking at here that was kind of interesting. So I just wanted to throw it out to you guys. I'm still, if you follow my video that I did the other day, I was looking for a breakdown to about 9,300 or so, kind of this low, or in this little area of support that I was looking at. If this is the case, this might possibly stop me out because I had some stops under 9,100, but I'll keep an eye on it and see how it's going. But I'm going to keep an eye on the internal momentum, because if the price goes down toward these lows and this starts to kick in more and more, then I'll be looking on different time frames. But if that starts to kick in a little bit, I'll be a little concerned there. So just wanted to show you this pattern. Not a fun one if you're a bull, but just something to consider, just something to follow, kind of fun. Not going to really trade off of it, but it's pretty interesting. On every one of these trend breaks, went right down to the same distance from the rate of change from the highest point above the trend line to where it dropped underneath on the retracement. So just wanted to throw that out there. Anything anybody else is doing on this breakdown tonight, let me know, and we can talk about it. I'm out on Twitter at FiboSwanny. I will talk to you guys later, and peace out. Happy trading.